guys, how are you today? Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Sophia Rheina Surbakti, and you can call me Pia or Sophia. Here I will present my critical book review assignment to fulfill the task of the English history course, which is taught by the mother of the lecturer Najuah. Okay, the title of the book I'm reviewing is Tara! Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow by Yuval Noah Harari. I would like to try to discuss or review a book entitled Homo Deus, A Brief History for Tomorrow. This is an essay by Yuval Noah Harari. He is professor, and if you want to see the complete biography, can be checked on Wikipedia or on his blogspot body, yuvalnoahharari.com. This book is very interesting. For me, the book is divided into three parts. The first is basically how the sapient or human conquered the second word. How do humans interpret the meaning, the word, and the third is how human then lost control. How can it be like this? Book is complete discourse or journey on mankind until it dies. At the time, what on the surface they remind us that this book is not 10 prediction, but only fragment of possibilities of prediction. This prediction that comes to mind by Yuval Noah Harari is not paddle pop. Okay. It's not prediction or a piece of dust. The possible things that will happen the 21st century are that surface or reveals then there are some human agendas that have been replaced 100 years ago. 100 years ago, human agents had struggled to solve famine, that war, and the third plague. This is one become the ship of mankind struggle to finish it. But today, it can actually be called a proposal that has become that. Why is finished by? Because with some evidence, there are people turn to that more people die of obesity than those who die or starvation. Many people die of giving up too much to eat. There is another person who commits suicide, were them being killed by soldier when it right now. These are fake. What is mentioned in this book. Then, where does this human agenda move? There are several achievements that humanity wants to achieve later in the future. The first is immortality. Second, immortality is the maximum happiness achieved by humans. Would that the times of divinity, now immortality, or at least maybe when it's not until this immortal human beings with technological development, which chemical, genetic engineering, and so on. With this, the technological advances human that hope to be able to live a longer life, at least rejuvenation in individual human and so on achieve happiness where this human cannot stop not it doesn't get to the point where he suffer and suffer because of the doesn't it rain economically and so on it finishes in for example in this book it is that Wi-Fi is produced, which is mostly for food, that humans are no longer a problem that they will achieve maximum happiness, even though the definition of happiness expressed in this book is very much. This book really want a lot of different example and maybe a little jump up and down. But it doesn't matter. It's actually rather than the third point is about divinity. Now, how do humans begin to replace God? They exit in the future will be replaced with why can be replaced? Because humans start also creating creatures. Um, called artificial intelligence, that's cyber and so on, then why is it called divinity? Because humans will try even if now there is actually artificially intelligent and so on, but later maybe it will be more development and then there will be human awareness of their God and think of himself as a creator and replace the God they worship. The first one is half human or you actually conquered the world. So this book is Homo Deus. This is the second book, and the first is already Sapiens. Evolutionary screen revolution that took place was a cognitive revolution. This is a cognitive revolution that has occurred in humankind, and that is how it prepared the greatest and the beginning of humankind as well as reaching civilization as it is today. Crowned as the strongest creator because of flexible communication. For example, one made 10 burger, 10 gorilla. It will win against 10 empty hands, and humans maybe will win, but 10 million humans will win against. For the example, it's because of what flexible communication skills so we can work together. Humans, because social creators can work together while the gorillas just now will fight with each other and kill each other. So yeah, because of flexible communication, human can be crowned a strong creator, and there was an agricultural revolution where humans were able to control their prey, then they are given change, farmer and so on. And until now, there has been a lot of genetic engineering on animal. How do they become fat? Then we eat. Then we are some plants which are then kept in reproduction and so on. Then why this man was able to conquer our world into the second part, into the second, that's how humans gave meaning after agricultural revolutions happened. Humans started thinking imaginatively, that started thinking why does this universe exist? Who create us? Who protect us? And that is what is called animism and dynamism. If you are curious about the history of religion, um, so some of also discuss the history of religion. This word religion is here. Okay, let's continue after thinking like that the animism, dynamism. Humans start to think about who create. Where did humans come from? Then who control everything? Human now, after human have a handle, then is the heir to cognitive revolution, yeah, because human thinking began to develop 1990. Humans start to create a company, makes countries and so on, even companies. Now there are three realities mentioned in this book. There is this, the first thing that can sustain human life is divinity. The second is that state, and the third is the company. This 33 aspect that affect and then it make mankind governed by it. So is what is held and then can regulate humanity from the start of divinity. Religion maybe then the second only is the state, and the third one is compens, which we are governed by our religion. We are also governed by our country, and we are also governed by our country or where we work now. This is what then appears in the second part. It is called the humanist revolution. Reason reflects communist revolution. What are the three realities? Stage religion, state, and then the company it's replaced again. Now, because the humanist revolutions emerged, because people began to think that very individual has dignity, each individual has the same right and so on. So there is what is called the humanist revolution. This humanist revolution, this worship was worship of God according to our submission to the state and then our submission to this company. Replaced again seen by the humanist revolution where all this judgment rise because of each individual we see that there is a humanist ethic. For example, the humanist ethic is if it is good according to us, according to one individual, according to humans, then just do it. If it is good, then do it. That's just ethic, humanist aesthetic, human's beauty that only exists in the audience. Then, um, what is the politic humanist? Our father would now more about status. There is more here. There is politic, then there is economic. Economic humanists are the customer who are always right when used. That's right. So there is politic, humanist, economic. Humans sit when humanist even humanist ethnic and education that humanists make it go where it is like what everything returns to us, so everything comes back to us. Humanism is centered on humans, where humans are considered to have to a glory that is more than other than every individual has for that a humanist revolution arose where this human worship humans again, so that is this human is higher than anything because it was mentioned earlier in the second part, there this human being is not all judgment. The third emerges from humans themselves. Each individual has their own judgment and returns to humans themselves or individually or for humans themselves. So, there is a humanist revolution that takes place where all the truths of all judgment go back to each of them who have ethnic humanists. There are humanist aesthetics, there is humanist political, there is humanist economic, and humanist education. We enter the third part good. This third part is how humans lose control. How humans can lose control. We already said that there was a humanist revolution. When the human revolution emerged, it was accompanied by advances in genetic engineering, technological, biotechnology, biochemistry, then cyber, artificial intelligence, and many other developments. By human, the progress made by human now is then affect the order of life and the social order on mankind. Was this because in the past, all work that was done by human has no change that work is more efficient. If carried out by robots, the human intelligence has also moved the greater color artificial intelligence, which is even more efficient. Actually, selling against that in the artificial intelligence made by human to make human work more efficient. Robots are also made to make human easy, effective, and efficient to do what the impact is because artificial intelligence there are also robots or cyborgs that are made by mankind. Later on, there will be an impact was in this book called the useless group. It will be effective. Then it will remove in the end. This human appears a human, a chosen humans, later a chosen human or superhuman. So there will be a superhuman who will have chosen in the future to control the other humans, those who are swept away, the earliest are the third group. The useless group is anyone. The first is drug, a dyke, and the second in this book is the state that the next group that has proven useless are the game maniac. It will disappear, it will be swept away, and they allow it to be eroded by the era again. Why is because there will be a lot of unemployment later when they are slaver and so on. So all of them use collapse and many employees may be let off and so on. So how come you lose control like that after humans are able to create artificial intelligence, are human are familiar with the internet of things, of everything is on the internet, everything is based on data. So what is the mention in the book? At first, this is data. Religion, what about data? Religions data, we see technological development on today occasion. Amazon has matchbook, they can read human character. So there are digital book matched by Amazon that can read human expression. So it's no longer human who read book, but books that read humans. Then Google its own data. There we start, we record, we write, we share, we download, we upload. This is stored neatly edited in the Google database, and Google has all the data. The Facebook also control our social in cyberspace in the and it doesn't exist privacy in our lives because it has been shared before in its entirety. There has even been a syndrome called a formula or fear of missing out. So the fear of missing out on information that will eventually lead us to being in front of the gadget is very, very stronger for a long time. Very, very able to survive very long time when we were reserving on the internet and so on. In the end, it no longer people who have money who will be in power, no longer people who have political power, who have the power to control, are people who have data and all data in this world. Now what's the most powerful person later who will be a superhero waiting from the part 1 to part 3? It is explained that the journey of mankind in the future, prediction that may occur according to Yuval Noah Harari.
Wait.
I see I finished the book of Homo Deus, a brief history of the tomorrow. From the aspect of the appearance of the book that is being reviewed is a book that is suitable for reading for millennial children because over very interesting to read in this book. There is also a document attack or as edition that this event I really happened. This book also display image to make it easier for readers to analyze the material content in the book. Um, in the book, and the content of the problem looks effective and compare the evidence with difference discussion development patterns, the facilitate understanding and understanding the content of the book. And this book that always invites us to think and read about various important things in the history and future of mankind. And you can see on the book on page 323 on paragraph, we don't need any gods to limit our power and give us meaning to free choice, and customer and fathers supply us with all the meaning we require. When then will happen once we realize that customer and fathers never make friend choice. And once we have the technology to calculate, design, or outsmart their feelings, if the whole universe is pegged to the human experience, what will happen once the human experience becomes just together another discernible product, no different in essence from an other item in the supermarket?